Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel, and I read Home Sweet Away from Home, the essay, because immediately the title stuck out to me. And it made me think of the different places I've lived, so I wanted to give this one a shot. This is my Think Aloud. For the first one, the first section was the title. I immediately had questions. I was wondering if someone is moving by the name of the title or if they're going on vacation. So it kind of made these different questions pop up into my head. In the second section, it kind of described what the story would be about. And this also kind of brought some questions to my head. It made me ask, why did this character have to relocate to Rome? Why did this family move from what I was guessing would be the US to Europe? So I wanted to know why. The third was a picture. And so this picture, I also had a lot of questions about. I didn't know if the bird was significant or if they would be going to Rome by boat, or maybe they were going on a vacation cruise. So I was kind of wondering why there's a bird in the nest. Does it symbolize something? And what that all meant. In the fourth section of this essay, it talks about packing up all their stuff and moving. And I really felt that one. I made some connections to this section because I also packed 2 bags and moved to Norway in college. So I was also kind of hoping I had everything I needed in these 2 bags, as that would be those would be my personal items for the next 5 months. In section number 5, I also made some connections. They talked about moving for her husband's work, and I moved for school. So it was both our choice to move. It wasn't like we were forced to move somewhere. So I kind of related that, and especially I relate to making it in a foreign country where there's different languages and all kinds of different cultural aspects. On section 6, I really started synthesizing while I was reading. I was curious as to why they thought living in mysterious Italy would be better than living in their safe big house in Brooklyn. In section 7, I made some predictions. So I was thinking what they would have in Italy is much greater than the items that they have in Brooklyn. And I think that's why they kind of spent some time here talking about how the house was so nice and so meaningful. So I kind of thought, I'm going to think that Italy might bring greater things for them. In section 8, I did some critical thinking. I think the author purposely tells us how much this house means to them in Brooklyn and all these antiques to make us kind of question why they would leave, and then eventually to show us a greater value of why they moved to Italy. In section 9, I did some more questioning. I was wondering if they had to move because of money or if it was her husband's work that made them move. So I was simply wondering, did they just have to move because that was the only job available? Or was it simply just a fun opportunity for the family? In section 10, I did some more questioning. I was wondering if they moved for the husband's work, why didn't they have a place ready to go for them? They were looking for different places to stay. So I was confused if this was all planned out, why they didn't have a house ready. In section 11, I talk a little bit more about making connections. So I also stayed in Germany for 2 months in a small one-bedroom apartment. So I kind of related to that when they talked about their small, cramped one-bedroom apartment. And also how Rome is a big city and the city I stayed in was fairly large. So a lot of cities, big cities, have many apartments and not so many houses. In section 12, I did some visualizing. I could imagine a huge apartment from what the author was telling us on the very top floor that has a tiny 16th century elevator taking you all the way to the top. I imagined that the building would smell old, maybe even a little musty at the entrance. In section 13, I did some more visualizing. I could kind of see the dark looking antique paintings along the wall and the light shining through on those paintings as if they were sitting there. Section 14, making inferences. From this section, I decided that it could mean that she's starting to feel at home and that she can create new memories and get new artifacts that are significant to the family there. Section 15. I also did some more inferencing and decided that perhaps she is realizing things aren't as important as people and the memories you make with them. So thinking that her family is more important than all of these special items at their house back in Brooklyn. In section 16, I made some more connections. So this section really brought me back to my childhood during springtime. My mom would do laundry on the weekends and open the windows. And when the windows would open, I would smell the fresh flowers and lavender fill the house. So that really brought me back to my childhood. In section 17, I did some synthesizing. I was changing my mind about her being so sad about leaving their house in Brooklyn because she said, I hardly blinked when I had to leave these rituals behind. In section 18, I really did some thinking. I think in this section, the author is trying to tell us that many things can bring us happiness in life, not just owning items, but to try and see the light in everyday items and situations. In section 19, I did some analyzing. The author said, there is a weightlessness to this existence that is liberating. To me, this makes me feel free and adventurous, like she has her whole world ahead of her. In section 20, I did some more critical thinking. I think in this section, it shows us that items don't make you who you are or define you, but that you make you who you are. On section 21, I did some analyzing. I think that this essay was written to share with readers that the people you love and who love you are your safe place. You don't need a big house for that. And that was one of my takeaways. And on the last section, section 22, I did some more questioning. I was wondering what the journals of Spalding Gray were and what they are about. Thank you.